today's topic is, as I promised earlier, a healing exercise. A very, very powerful healing exercise that helps you give you what you need out of life, what you've been probably searching for. So that is exactly what we're going to do tonight. So this video is for you if you have found yourself trapped in the past. If you found yourself holding a grudge against those that you felt should have given you more as a child or a young adult or a teenager. Being caught in the same memory the entire time, particularly around childhood or your teenage years or your youth. If you find yourself holding grudges and being aggrieved about what you didn't get in those younger years, this video is really, really, really good for you and is going to be so beneficial. Exercises are, one is a broad one and one is a very, very specific one. Now you mightn't want to do the two of them, but the two of them is here for UCC. So why are these exercises important and why am I doing this video? Well, the basis of it is that a lot of us, most of us really, if we're honest, are walking around unconsciously wounded from our pasts, unconsciously wounded, and we haven't got a clue what that is. But there's something that wasn't fulfilled, there's something that wasn't given to us, there's something that wasn't shown to us, there's something that wasn't soothed in us in the past, and we are unconsciously trying to get that soothed. We're either unconsciously trying to get it soothed in relationships by forcing people to be a particular way, forcing them to act in a particular way so that you can get these difficult things that you feel about yourself met in you. And a lot of us are doing this and unbeknownst to ourselves and having difficulties in relationships. Now, if that makes any sense to anybody, please give me a heart or a thumbs up and let me know that maybe this video was resonating with you and that you get what I mean. But I know that for sure a lot of us are trying to get what we need or have needed in the past in the now, but aren't sure how to get that done and are at sea in how to do that. So this exercise helps greatly with that. It will do two things. It will help you identify what you didn't get, and it will help you correct what you didn't get. Not correct it by going looking for it in the people that you think should give it to you, but you are actually going to correct this in you. Because as you know, I always say the power is in you. So you are going to take this difficulty that you've been holding for years and you are going to create it. You are going to soothe it. You are going to stop the pain in you. So the first exercise is the broad exercise. And so what I want you to ask yourselves are, if you haven't got a pen and paper, don't worry, just follow the video, come back to the video and get a pen and paper and write it out if that suits you. But the first one is, what is it that you needed that you didn't get? Either in childhood, either in your teenage years, either in your young adult years. What is it that you did not get that you needed? Now, what do I mean particularly? What is it? I'll give you specifics. What is it that you need to hear that you didn't hear? What is it that you needed to happen that did not happen? What is it that you needed someone to tell you that you didn't hear it, you didn't get it? What did you need someone to say and you did not get it? What was it that was missing from your youth, from your childhood that you didn't get? Was it a soft place to fall? Was it a listening ear? Was it a soothing voice? What was it that you did not get? That is the first stage of the exercise. Identify what you did not get, what you needed, what you longed for, and you did not get. That wee part of the exercise in itself can be quite difficult because you're opening up stuff that you didn't actually realise. And then when you identify what is it that I didn't get, and can you spot what you're trying to do in the now to get it? Can you spot maybe the relationships that you're engaged in and how you're trying to get those things that you needed from those relationships? Can you see the difficulty in that? And that's quite amazing when you see that. So the first stage, what is it that you did not get? And I want you to try and really deepen into the understanding of that and write it out. And the next stage is, what specifically did you need to hear, see, feel, touch? What was it specifically? And can you write that out? And can you see yourself as that young person, as that child, as that youth, as that teenager? Can you see yourself as that person? And can you deliver that message to them? Can you give yourself what you needed? Sometimes we can do this in a letter form. Sometimes we can just imagine ourselves in that youthful stage, in that young stage, and deliver what we needed to hear verbally in our minds and our imaginations. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, as long as you can see the youth, you can see the young person, you can see the child, you can see the young person that you were, and you can deliver exactly what it was you needed. So if it was a soft place to fall, if it was arms around you, if it was this isn't the end of the world, this will be okay, if it was something that you needed to know that you didn't understand in your youth, then you need to tell yourself that now, in the here and now. And you need to imagine yourself as that youth, as that small person, and you need to deliver that now to them with the knowledge you have. You need to imagine them standing in front of you, and you need to, if it's a letter that you want to prepare, you need to read that letter out and you need to wrap your arms around that person. It is the most magical of exercises that I see done every day in session and that I have done myself, and it absolutely works. It's unbelievable. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take it to another level. But I am going to warn you about this next piece. This is now what I call the specific healing exercise. Now, if you've identified the broad sweep of what you did not get as a child or as a young person, if you've identified the broad scheme, if you didn't get, for example, a soft place to fall, if you didn't get anyone hearing you, if you didn't get anyone listening to the difficulties that you had in life, for example, then what you'll want to do in the specific is understand or recall or remember a particular moment, a particular time when that was most difficult. Now, the warning comes with this in that do not go digging and looking for a particular moment. If it's not available to you, don't go looking. This is the exercise for those where this is available to them, where they have been regurgitating this moment for years and years and years. Because the reality of it is, some of us are wounded by our past and regurgitating the same moment of our past over and over and over and over again. So only go to the specifics where you know there's no trauma, where you know there's no, that you've been in touch with this before, where there's no problem with this. So what I want you to do, if you've heeded my warnings, and if you're happy to go to that memory, if you're happy to go to that particular place where you remember the details, or you remember what it felt like to be actually have no place to fall, no soft place to fall, no one to put their arms around you. I want you to go to that memory, and I want you to pre-prepare what you would say to that young person, to that child. What you would say in the here and now. What if you were their mother? What if you were their father? What if you were their big sister? What if you were that big person's guiding light, which is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to be your own self's guiding light. What would you say? How would you say it? What tone would you say it? And how gently would you say it? How softly would you say it. I'm sure you wouldn't shout and roar. I'm sure you wouldn't scold. I'm sure what you would do is mosey alongside them and begin a small, gentle conversation. And with the very thing that you have prepared, with the very loving words that you've always needed to hear, you're going to deliver that straight to that wee one who needs it. And you will recall the memory and see where they are and see where they are. Are they sitting on a step? Are they standing up tall? But mosey in alongside them and deliver what they need to hear in that moment. Now, this is powerful. This is the most powerful practice, because what you find is that you yourself is healing what needed healed way back then. There's nobody else with more power than you to heal this in the here and now. What that does is that stops us searching. It stops us trying to find the people that we think should heal it. It stops us trying to force relationships that we know they're not going to be healed in. It stops us running after our tails. It stops us regurgitating it when we can heal it ourselves. So we either heal this broadly or we heal this specifically to a particular moment that you had where this deep feeling of not getting what you wanted, not hearing what you needed, not being in that place wasn't given to you, and you give that to yourself. Now here's where the magic is. See, if you do this small, it's just a really small exercise. What is it that I didn't get, and how do I give that to myself in words and in memory and in feeling? When you do that, the memory becomes weakened from the past. And when you go back to look at the younger you, for me, she wasn't in the same place. The memory had weakened and the feelings around the memory had disappeared. And I had become more or less all of me, if that makes any sense to anybody. It's the most wonderful, wonderful practice. Now, what it will do for you is sometimes you'll go in and sometimes you'll go out. It's a bit like a hokey cokey when you start to do this. You're kind of in and out of it, and you're learning a new skill, and it can be kind of quite confusing because you're this adult and you can see you as this child and you're trying to soothe that child, but it's really you, and sometimes your logic mind gets in the way. Don't worry. Go back in and go back out. There is no one here, I would imagine, who would leave that small child or that young person or that teenager where they were in pain. You'll want to reach out. You'll want to help them. You'll want to bring them alongside you. And it is an amazing process. So be gentle on yourselves when you're trying this. And get yourself a journal and write and record, but return every now and again to try and work this exercise through. And the last part of this exercise really is the final piece. Is once you've that younger self done, once you've that younger you done, once you've that child done, once you've that teenager done, when you look back, you will know that it's healed because it'll not feel the same and it'll not show the same. And then what you need to do then is give what you needed, what you've been searching for, what you've been striving for, what you're hoping everybody else will heal in you, will soothe in you, what all those relationships would do for you. Start to give it to yourself in the here and now. So if you needed somebody to be soft and gentle on you, if you needed someone to tell you it's okay, if you needed someone to say stop catastrophizing everything, then you need to do that for you now. And you need to remind yourself of that day in and day out. You need to put your own arms around yourself and you need to give yourself what you need in the here and now. So that's the exercise finished. It's that simple. 15 small minutes this evening. So I'm just going to quickly recap. You're going to do this broadly first. Big sweeps. What is it that I didn't get that I needed? Okay, and you're going to answer that. If you feel brave and it's okay, you're going to answer the specifics. Where do I remember a specific moment where that happened? If there's no trauma or no difficulty around it, then do that. If you need help, then find a therapist that will help you with that. And then you're going to give yourself exactly what you needed. And then you're going to transfer all that lovely energy and all that lovely knowledge into the here and now. And you're going to consistently remind yourself in a daily journal or a daily mantra of exactly what you needed. And you are going to ensure that the adult in you now is going to treat you the way you know you need and the way you want. And what you have is a beautiful practice. So good luck with that this evening, and good luck with that. And if you know anybody that might need this, it's stuck in the past, then please feel free to share.